each of your top 3 essentials. If each of you could meet anyone, what advice can you give couples on how to maintain a successful relationship? Where do you see yourselves in 5 years? What do you do when you are more gazelle intense or more motivated to pay off debt compared to your spouse? How do you motivate them? What inspired you to start a YouTube channel? How much are you making on YouTube now? Top 5 or 10 things that annoy you about each other and how you deal with it. Could you interview other couples who have gotten out of debt or who have a tiny house? Are you guys religious? How do you deal with negative feedback / comments? When are the kiddos coming? Do you plan on having kids? What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Maurice, and I'm back with my beautiful wife,
Nasa.
And we are back with part 2 of the Ask Us Anything series.
Yeah, so this is the questions that are focused more on the well, I guess the other one was fun too, but on marriage and relationship and the juicy stuff. Part 1, if you haven't seen it, go ahead and click. It's probably going to be up here and in the description below. Get your part 1 about all the tiny house things that you want to know about, how we like it, all that stuff. But stick around because this is going to be about us and our lives and all the juicy details that y'all want to find out. So Stick around.
So first question, this one comes in from Janine Hoke. And these are some really good questions here. So this question is inspired by the GQ 10 Essential videos. What are each of your top 3 essentials excluding each other? Now, what I want to know is why she assumed that my essential is...
Wow, that's what we doing right now?
I'm just joking. I'm joking.
Ain't nobody laughing.
I think some people laughing.
No, ain't nobody laughing. Y'all better not be laughing.
Some people laughing.
Anyway, so I'll start. My 3 essentials. Number 1, I have to have some type of something to put on my lips. EOS, chapstick. I use his a lot. I used to be addicted to Vaseline, but I moved on from that because. You
sound crazy right now.
Okay, so number 1, my number. Oh my gosh, what is going on? Number 2 would be my phone because I do everything on there. My calendar's on there, my Bible's on there, my bank is on there, my social media on there. Yeah. And then I think I'll go with number 3 would be I was gonna say hair product, but then I just thought number 3 is gonna be food because boo-boo, who's gonna not eat? That's food. Yeah, my number 3 is food.
Yeah, I would definitely have to agree with the phone. Everything is on there. I think we're all like that in this day and age. Number 2 would be probably my laptop, the MacBook. I'm always editing. I'm always working on something, some type of new content, thumbnail, whatever, promotion of the channel, all kinds of stuff like that. Those 2 are my main 2. I feel like my 3rd one, I don't know. I don't know that I have a 3rd one. I would just be throwing something out there and just making
just
something
throw
up
something
if I
out
said
there.
it. My 3rd would have to be her. I know we said we couldn't do that, but she's mad at me for that little joke, so.
When you're trying to make up, but it ain't working.
Next question, really, really good question. If each of you could meet anyone, living or dead, and have 1 hour of their time, who would it be, and what would you spend the hour talking to them about?
So I said originally, I'm gonna stick to my person, Jesus. I think just because I got a lot of questions. I ain't gonna tell y'all the questions because it's none of your business, but I got a lot of questions for him. So I'm just, and it's probably good that I'm not gonna see him, in person. No, well, I don't know about no time soon because y'all really think the world is ending. But I don't think any of the questions that I'm trying to ask is any of my business, and I need to just mind my business and let him take care of things because he know what he's doing. But you know how us humans are. We want to be nosy and know everything. So yeah, Jesus would be my pick.
Yeah, so I don't want to cheat and say the same thing. And then I started thinking about like business leaders and investors and entrepreneurs. But then like all of the ones I really follow are already on YouTube. And so I feel like I already know what the conversation would be about because I already consume their content. So I have to go with somebody I look up to a lot, both from an athletic perspective and also from like a family perspective. And I'd have to say LeBron James. I would definitely spend some time playing basketball with him one-on-one. I think if we went to 10, I could give him a bucket. I would give him at least 1 bucket. I put money on that.
I think you would. Yeah, I think you would.
He wouldn't hold me scoreless.
Yeah.
But I love to play one-on-one with LeBron. And then I spend the other bit of the time just talking to him about family and family relationships and kind of how he manages. Because I'm known to work a lot and work really hard. And so just how he manages his lifestyle from an athletic perspective. And then also I feel like I always see him at his kids' games and, you know, with the family doing things and stuff like that. What advice can you give couples on how to maintain a successful relationship?
I feel like we experts on that.
Yeah, we're definitely not relationship experts, so just take this with a grain of salt. You know, we have our problems. Everybody has their problems and things that they go through. I would just say fight fair. That would probably be my number one. Like, you know, no matter what, you know, we argue about or have issues on or disagreements about, and no matter how long those extend, we never attack, like personally attack.
Yeah, we don't be
We
hitting
don't
below
call
the belt.
each other out the names. Obviously, there's no ever any physical anything. I remember one time she slapped my hand, and I was like, so this what we like? I'm like, you were actually a little bit mad right there. So the fact that you slapped my hand while you was mad, this is how things escalate.
No, he
I
really
cut
was.
it off.
Y'all.
I'm like,
he was like,
nah,
babe, no, really, don't hit me. I'm like, I didn't hit. We play around like that all the time. I'm like,
if you're actually mad, if you're actually upset, and physical
I feel you. I
contact,
agree.
no matter how slight.
I agree. I would say also just communicating with each other and actually listening to each other. A lot of people say communication is key, but communication is trash if the other person is not actually listening. Really, he don't be listening to me. Let's air out some dirty. No, I really hate talking about issues that we have. And he's really good at like knowing when something is up and I'm like not happy, and he's always like, babe, like come on. And eventually we talk about it and we get it all out. And sometimes, you know, it turns out good. Sometimes we talk about it for a few days. So yeah.
If they say it's fine, it's the furthest thing from fine. So that's where I really dig in. Because I'd just rather talk about it, you know, than build up a bunch of resentment and have a bunch of tension. Or do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, hopefully my hair is about 3 more inches, 6 more inches.
I think that's where he was going with the question.
I'm trying to get some hair length. I'm trying to get some babies on my hips. I'm trying to have $1 million in a bank. That's a little overzealous.
Yeah, but we would love to be doing YouTube full time.
Yeah.
That's one thing we would love to be doing. YouTube is crazy. People have such different paths and income. There's no telling, but we just know there's a really high ceiling, and we feel like, you know, it's going well so far. So we hope to continue growing.
I wasn't done though. I would love to be chiseled out and fit like to my body goals. What else in 5 years? I would love to be teaching at my forever school.
Robert's on a budget. What do you do when you are more gazelle intense? That's a Dave Ramsey term for like being super intense about getting out of debt, or more motivated to pay off debt compared to your spouse. How do you motivate them? And the second question, very similar to that, from Glamp63. Advice if you're still all in for the change, going tiny, tightening finances, mapping out every change, etc., but your partner isn't. So basically, like being on different pages with your spouse, how do you make that shift?
Talk it out until y'all come to an agreement.
Yeah, if you remember from an earlier video, we talked about how she actually wanted to get out of debt early in our marriage. I was just not for it. Mm-hmm. So it actually took like 2-3 years before she finally knocked on my head.
My boy was asleep.
For me to be like, you know what, that is a really good idea. We should do that. So just be patient, I would say. Mm-hmm. Keep praying for your spouse, keep working with them, and share the why.
Yeah.
Right? Why is it important to get out of debt? It's one thing to ask somebody to give up all of these things that they hold close to their heart. It's another thing to be like, what if we could do this by this age? Or what if we could, you know, travel like this, or set up our children like that, or whatever the big outlying reason is. Go for the why.
You can do anything for a short amount of time. So talking about like what the goal is, as far as it is for the tiny house, like we've always talked about, like we would love to do this, but it doesn't need to be forever. If one of us ever hated it and got tired of it, like, we both are not saying we need to be in a tiny house forever, but you know, you can do anything for a short amount of time, so.
Yeah, for sure.
But we might be in it forever.
Same user, Glamp63. Hi, K and M. My daughter Ashley wants to know what inspired you to start a YouTube channel.
We had a lot of people always tell us about how, like, oh, y'all should tell your story. Y'all should share it on. Y'all should start a YouTube video or YouTube channel, post videos about your journey and your story and all that. And when we were getting out of debt, it was kind of a lot. We didn't have any time except to work and get out of debt. But once we got out of debt, we were like, well, now that we're done, let's go ahead and put this content on YouTube.
Next question from Connie Bush. Why does that last name look so familiar?
Marie, not that he said Connie Bush, like that's not his mama.
Hey, mama! My mom asked, how much are you making on YouTube now? Also, since getting out of debt and tiny tours are two of your most watched topics, could you interview other couples who have gotten out of debt or who have a tiny house you could tour? Love you too, mama. Let me answer the second one first. So the second one, we actually are trying to do a video like that. We wanted to do something here within our community with all of our neighbors, but I don't know, they weren't too interested. I don't know, maybe they weren't interested. We didn't get a lot of responses.
Yeah, we only got a response for a few people, which is okay.
Yeah, we feel like a video like that, you would kind of like want to do it from the perspective of like multiple different answers for every single question will make it the most interesting. So we may do something like that in the future. Just gotta stay tuned for that. But you're my mom, so I know you will. Second question, she's been hinting at this a lot on the phone. How much are you making on YouTube now? So we've been monetized now for about 30 days, and our first 30 days we made about $500.
Yep.
Which is decent, I guess, until you consider how much time we actually spent working on it up until this point. 6 months in, 35, 40 videos, and all the hours. I'm probably gonna put a graphic up here right at this point just to explain what that comes out to dollar per hour wise. But I'd imagine it's pretty low when you think about it. So,
but it is a lot better than what, like, it's better than what a lot of people get after their first.
Yeah,
you know.
We're doing really well for being 6 months in. Some people have their channel jumps off immediately, and then there's a lot of people that are on YouTube that you would never know because they just struggle.
Yeah.
Like literally thousands of videos for some people with very little growth. So I mean, I feel like we're in a good place, and the silliness through the roof. Like your first check is nothing like your 10th or your 20th or your third. Like it just goes up from there.
So y'all run up our views.
Yeah, watch them ads all the way to the end if you love us. But yeah, that's pretty much it on that one. Next one, really, really juicy question. Latasha H. Top 5 or 10 things that annoy you about each other and how you deal with it. That should be hilarious with YouTube because you're funny and lovable, and you're right. Latasha, I'm gonna need a good 10 minutes for this one.
He's lying.
So we're gonna break that off into a second video. Stay tuned for that one. We're gonna definitely. I'm making too many jokes.
Oh, I'm about to make a list, boo boo.
Alexis Ariel, are you guys religious? How do you deal with negative feedback / comments?
We are not religious, but we do love Jesus. We are.
Why do you say not religious?
Because religion is more of like these set of rules and things that guidelines that you have to follow, and
kind of has a negative connotation.
Yeah, and it's just, we're not religious. It's a way of life. We want to live like Christ, and we want to be like Christ, and he died for our sins, and he loves us, and he forgives us for our many, many sins on the regular, past and future and present sins. So, yeah, it's a way of life for us. It's not a religion. It's something that we want to continue to glorify God every day in.
I believe that it's necessary to have a relationship with Jesus to find your way to God. And so it doesn't mean we're perfect. It doesn't mean we don't sin. It doesn't mean we don't fall short. But his grace abounds. So.
Amen. Let us not get started on some church.
Preach up.
Okay. Hallelujah.
How do you deal with negative feedback and comments? We always try to respond in love. It's a very difficult thing to do.
Especially for this guy.
We made a video early on about that, and I'm like, dang, now like our feet are to the fire because we're gonna put this out there. So when stuff comes in, we like, nope.
Yeah.
that irritated me, that annoyed me. Why would they say something so stupid? But you know, we'll calm down.
This is little like get off right here. He's
take
like,
some
let me
time,
say it.
and then we'll just say something loving and respectful and kind back to that person. Even if we disagree with what they have to say, we want to do it in a way that, you know, is kind and loving. Last two questions from two different users. Juicy one. I know a lot of people want to know the answer to this.
Oh, that's why you left that in the end, huh?
Copeland Baker, as well as Robert's on a budget. When are the kiddos coming? Is it something you're planning later because the two of you are so cute and having so much fun? Do you plan on having kids? If so, how would living tiny play into that, or would you move? And the first answer is, if I said this on a YouTube video before I told my mom the answer to this question, because she's been asking for so long, I would literally get killed. So
your mama ain't killing you. That lady love you so much. She's so dramatic.
But she's wanted to know this. So basically, we don't have a real answer.
We don't have an answer. When it happens, it happens. We're not planning.
Yeah.
So we're not planning not to. I guess I could say that, but we're not planning like, okay, that's too much information.
But yeah, when kids come, we're not going to move out of the tiny house immediately. We're going to try to see how we can do and what kind of like little tweaks and arrangements we can make for a baby, or 2 or 3 or 5 or 10.
I don't know who's having all them kids.
For a couple babies, we're going to try to see what we can do, and then if we can't make it work, then we'll adjust at that time. Aside from that, that's all we got. Let us know down in the comments if there's anything we missed. Keep it locked. We're on this lockdown marathon, self-quarantine, nothing to do but record YouTube videos.
And annoy the mess out of each other.
Yeah, so we hope you guys are enjoying this series of uploads that we've been doing lately, and we're going to keep them coming. We out.